When you write it in an email or you write it down and practice it to yourself, you're going to come out with a purpose, a why that they're not going to be able to say no.
Welcome to the Business and Pleasure of Flowers. We're your hosts, Fonda Lefevre
and Lori Wilson, and we believe that business and fun are a perfect combination. Kind of like us, Fonda. Hello, podcast listeners out there. This is Lori, and I am semi-solo today, meaning my partner, Vonda, is not here, and so I'm trying to wing it. But I do have a special guest today, and I'm really excited. My friend Mimi Pacheco from Jet Fresh is here. Hello, Mimi. How are you?
Hi, clickers.
So I'm giggling because when we were texting back and forth, I was like, hey, I have a favor. Do you want to be on my podcast, on our podcast? Blah, blah, blah. And your answer was, me?
Well, first of all, that's my job on my podcast.
I know.
Is to reach out to people. So I'm like, wait a second. What would you want to talk to me about, Lori?
And I was like, yes, you. I wouldn't be texting you if I didn't. Well, we talk every once in a while, but we were talking to SAF and we were both talking about how much we were in a big love fest conversation about our bosses and how lucky we are, blah, 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 working for family businesses. And then we were like, we should talk about this sometime on a podcast. And then we got interrupted because we had to go do whatever. And so I was thinking about it again. I was like, we really do need to talk about that.
Yeah.
And so I reached back out and I think you forgot about that conversation.
Yeah, I think that we were discussing about family businesses, but we were talking about how there's so many pros and yet there are cons about it.
Oh, yeah. 100%. 100%. Right.
So,
okay. So tell us, Mimi, first of all, how did you get in the business? And then what is your, I hate titles, but like, what is your job? What is your role now?
Right. So I got in the business like the good old Monster ads.
Oh, nice.
But also my sister was working in the industry. And when I was looking out of college, I studied graphic design and communications and marketing. And I did a couple of weird jobs. I wasn't in love with it, but I really wanted to be somewhere where there wasn't a lot of traffic. And I live close to the airport and I looked at different industries and a lot of them are seafood, flowers. So I started applying to different jobs in the industry. When I told my sister that I was applying for a flower food company, my sister's like, oh, that's a good job. Like we use Floral Life at our business.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That is a very well-known brand. And I ended up interviewing. It took me like a month, almost 2 months to get the job just because my boss, like
vetting you pretty hard.
And really, they did run like a family business back then. So it was owned by a Dutch family. It was a little corporate because they did have to run everything through the Dutch headquarters. So It took me a while, but I ended up joining and it was like a family. So I loved it. Now, the back end is that my father is a business owner. My grandfather was a business owner. So for me, family businesses, I always felt like that's where I wanted to be. I had already done the corporate thing in a couple of jobs, and I just didn't feel like it fit my personality. I wanted to be a big fish in a little pond.
Yeah.
And fast forward, Kreisel became a bigger lake, ocean, you name it.
Right.
And I still loved everything about it, but I had kept going to all the trade shows and having interactions with Mike and the Black family. And in fact, they would help me set up my booth before they would set up their booth. You know how it is.
Yeah. They help us too to this day. They see Ellie and I struggle.
When I told Mike that I was looking at doing something different, he said, well, why don't you come and work here? I said, but what would I do? And I really wanted to learn more about the flower side. I felt like I had been in the industry for so long, but I knew nothing about flowers. Like I knew how to handle them. I knew every flower, but I just didn't know the back end of the why things were done the way they're done. And I'm a big learner. Like I love to hands-on learn. And I thought, wow, what a better place than Jet Fresh because they are grower, wholesaler, importer, distributor, every single hat Mike wears it. Yeah. And I had already been talking to Mike. Mike was giving me advice on marketing. And I was like, this is like work for my mentor. I can't let this opportunity go by. And I did give up a lot of vacation days.
Okay.
And
Well, I mean, we're kind of leaning into some of the cons, right?
right. And I kind of jumped in head first, like in love, because just
Right.
like everything, you fall for, and we talked about this, we fall for the boss. Like that's the
Right.
kind
We fall for the family. You fall for
right.
that family.
And I am an empath. I am a person who wants to see a family legacy continue. So
Right.
I just was like, oh, if I could take part in that. And I had already been watching Ryan and Ashley, Ryan's wife, who
Yeah.
had my role before. They had did such a great job with building a brand. I'm like, how easy is it to jump into a marketing position for a brand that's already recognized?
Right.
It already
Right.
has the reputation I want. Like, I can only make this or help make this better. So that's
Right.
exactly what I did. And I joined the marketing team. So there's me, Ryan, and Joelle here in Miami, and we have Emmy and Diana in the farm. And we are just like, we call ourselves, well, we were the Fantastic Four, and now we are the Teen Titans Go. Again, way too young. I'm not a Teen Titan. But the idea is that I kind of am the communications, website, advertising, you name it. So yeah, my
Nice.
role is it's all encompassing. I'm just part of the marketing team, do a lot of customer relations as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, to me, you're so much more from the outside view. I think from a customer's point of view, at least the customers that I know that use, they don't look at you as, oh, she's part of the marketing team. Like that's not
And I think that's again one of the beautiful things about family businesses, family run
right.
businesses is that like it doesn't matter what I do.
The title doesn't matter.
Mike has never asked me to sweep the floor, but I have swept the floor.
Right. Right.
And it's just because we're taught that this is our house. So
Right.
let's take care of it.
Right. Right. And to me, that's one of the pros that I want to talk about for me and for you. One of the things that we, I think, gravitated to for family owned companies, Flower Click being one, Jet Fresh being one, was that concept. Like, I don't like titles, but I love to try new roles.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, I want to do marketing, but oh, no, I also want to help out in operations. Well, that doesn't work very well because I have ADD. So I need to switch over here to market. Like, I want to do. And so being in a company, and maybe not always family owned, but the family owned company I'm in with a boss that I know loves me and trusts me, both bosses, Ellie and Vonda both, right? That afford me that luxury makes me want to hang in there. And so I think of employees of flower shops. So think of most florists, flower shops are family owned businesses.
Right.
Not all, but a lot of them are co-owned, a lot of family in there. A lot of those employees don't have the same mentality that you and I do.
Well, one, I think that we're blessed to, or at least you have a little bit more distance, right? So I'm
Yeah.
not in Mike's face all the time.
Right.
And,
Right.
and you're not in Vonda's, right?
Right.
That if we were in tight quarters, I think I was just telling you that we did a couple of visits recently, Dolly and I, and we went to visit some customers. And I love seeing the dynamic. It's all about what you make of it, right? Because
Right.
you are in tight quarters with your boss, who could be
Yes.
your aunt or your grandma. Or
Right. Right.
I did see beautiful things like people being able to bring their children to work and flexibility of working with your family. It can be important. But then again, I don't know if I would be able to do that. My father had a business. He got sick and had a heart condition. My sister took over for a while, and that didn't last. My father came back and sales were up, shrink was down. It was a produce company. So really, my sister was kicking ass.
Yeah.
And my dad just didn't want to change. For him, it was a little too much. And I think it was his ego, which is
Sure.
really big. And then it's not that a bad ego.
No, it's pride. It's hard, especially when it's a parent-child.
Yeah. And so I think I take that situation with me, especially that one, because I remember seeing my father and feeling very vulnerable for him. Like, I felt like,
Yeah.
I understand he's been doing this for 40 years. I can't imagine me doing anything for 40 years and then somebody coming and saying, well, I just did it better.
Right.
But
So do you find yourself, because in that role, I'm hearing, because of the empath you are, and in the role you're in now, dealing with a quite large family. Like, I only have 2 family members. I've got Ellie and Vonda to deal with. You've got a whole bunch of brothers and Mike and Susan,
Mhm.
Mike's wife. Do you find yourself, as the non-family member, somewhat as a mediator sometimes?
I could talk about a couple of times that I've felt that way.
Yeah.
But the crazy thing about it is that I am a relatively new extended family member here. The majority of the Jet Freshers have been with Mike and Susan for 15 years, 10
Yeah.
years. So a lot of times, I mean, they introduce each other. Casey introduces Edwin as his uncle. Edwin's Dominican. He's not a Black family member. Like, Celine has been with Mike for everybody has had such, I mean, they've watched each other grow. And even
Yeah.
at this point, like the other day, we just, our new building is near a canal, and Casey gifted my boys fishing rods because they come after school and they come and fish.
Oh.
And so it's really, really hard not to like take sides, let's say, because I see them all for who they are. I mean, like you said, it's a big family and they're all so different. Like, we have the creative type, we have the very A type. You see them all and you're like, wow, this is for sure
Yeah.
not nurture. This is nature.
Right.
These characters are born like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have found myself mediating between, or just silently learning Lori to stay silent.
To stay silent, which is
Stay
hard
silent,
for both of us.
them figure it out, because that's the best way.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
I will give my opinion, and I'm
If they
trying
ask.
and I'm trying to be as biased as possible, but it's also really good to see how they separate it, and then they're like, "See you at barbecue on Sunday, see you at barbecue on Sunday."
Right.
That's it.
Right.
This is such an established business that they've been doing it for so long, so they know exactly how to turn it on and off.
Right.
I would never be able to work with my brothers and sisters.
No.
that way.
No, nor would I. Oh, I know that for a fact. There's no way.
I just love them like a certain way. You can't get business done unless you realize that this is a business.
Right. Right. And they have the ability to be able to separate those things. I
Mm-hmm.
want to talk about like team dynamics and communication, how they do that. So in JetFresh, because there is so much family and extended family, let's be honest. So how is the communication? Is it just direct when it's decision-making time? Do they bring everybody in and everybody has a say in stuff? Like, how does
Well,
that?
I think it's super important that family businesses, again, run with like not a corporate, but just they understand that it's a business. So there's a leadership team here that
Mhm.
they do meet once a month. Managerial roles, really important. So for
Yeah.
instance, Mike is my boss. Of course, Mike is everybody's boss,
Of course, right?
Ryan is my direct. So I deal with Ryan. And we kind of go at that route. And I think it's important to have that separation. And I'm really cognizant of the fact that names and the way you address people. So I try really hard not to say, "Oh, your brother told me so."
I do the same
I
thing. I try not to refer to Vonda as your
Your
mom, but it's so hard.
extremely hard, even for them. You laugh and you hear,
Yeah.
"My dad told me." It's like,
I know.
your
I
dad,
know.
our dad, but
I know. But now you forget.
yeah. And but I think that helps keep it professional. Like it
Right.
keep
Right.
it like, okay, the general manager told me to do this. That's why I'm doing it, not your brother or your
Right.
father. Unless it's mommy. I always say, "Mommy told me so."
I know. I hear you say that. That's different because she's not like in the day to day to day to day to day.
When she's in the office, that's a problem I think Ryan has with me, because I just gravitate to her
Mhm.
like
It's
two
a
bags,
woman and you're excited.
and I'm like, "Hi, mommy."
Right. You're just excited that there's a woman there. But
Yeah.
no, I remember, I don't know, it was a while back. I was having a conversation with Ellie and I can't remember what we were even talking about, but I felt convicted about that because I kept saying, well, your mom. And she never said anything about it, but I was like, I need to stop doing that. I need to. And she was like, okay, yeah, maybe that would be better. But I still, and I'm like, oh, sorry, Ellie, I did it again. She's like, okay.
And I don't even think it bothers them.
No, but it bothers me because
It bothers
I
you,
have to
right?
stop that.
Because
Yeah.
I want them to know that in the end, I constantly will see this as a business. Like, it's
Mhm.
not I'm coming here to play. We are definitely a more relaxed, constantly have people going, "Oh, I love coming there and seeing the vibes." 100%. But in the end, the
Right.
goal is to continue the legacy that's here, which is providing the nonstop service.
I know.
So I think if you kind of understand that, and for a flower shop, I always think of my buddy Sheldon. I always think of Sheldon
Yeah.
and the
Michelle
amount of
Flowers by Michelle.
respect that he has for Michelle
Yes,
and the
same.
amount of
Yes.
respect that she has for him
Mm.
is admirable. And I think that that's one of the secrets. Like, just make sure
Yes.
family business is family business.
Right.
Like, anything that's supposed to be talked about at the dinner table or at the
Yes.
barbecue can be talked about at the barbecue. But right now, from 9 to 5, or sorry, flower hours from
Right.
from
Right.
6 to 7,
Right.
it's pure business, you know?
Yeah. So here would be a question though. The non-family members, so we talked about how family members communicate among family members and bring to the leadership team or have those non-family member employees. What are your suggestions with how do they communicate? Let's say they want to bring an idea or something to that team. I think back to Next Gen a couple years ago, the questions I was getting
Yeah.
there. I don't know if you remember that. Two different people. One of them was a manager. She's like, I try to bring ideas to my boss all the time. It was owned by two, like a husband wife team. She's like, they never want to listen. Like, what am I doing wrong?
Right. And I think it goes to, like, respecting the positions. I never just go straight to Mike. I have a lot of conversations one-on-one with Mike about other stuff, but I
Right.
keep Ryan in the loop all the time.
Yeah. Yes.
And I think the clearer the communication, the easier. The beautiful thing about working for family businesses is that if you let them know that they can trust you, that you have the same common goal,
Mhm. Mhm.
then they're going to want to listen to your ideas. So
Yeah.
it's about creating that trust that you have that same goal, in my opinion. So I have a lot of ideas. I bring them to Ryan. If I feel that Ryan's not listening, then I think it's because it's not a good idea for the company.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
because
I agree.
right. That doesn't stop me from having conversations with Mike, because Mike has a completely open door policy.
Mhm.
And even with Casey's great at marketing. So whenever I come up to him, and I just make sure that I let him know, I've discussed this with my boss. I think
Mhm.
we should move this way. What do you think? So that way
Right.
we can go back to Ryan and say Casey agrees or Casey doesn't agree. But it's all about the trusting process and about having that common goal.
I would agree with everything you're saying, assuming the family you are working for, the leaders, are open, right? And care and all of the things. Now, you and I both know there are situations that they are closed off. And let's go back. Not throwing your dad under the bus, but let's go back to someone like him that are like, no, we're not going to do it this way. I'm not going to do your new idea, even though blah, blah. So there are those scenarios, right? Those are the hard ones. When you keep bringing something to the table, an idea, and if you have it well thought out with a whole plan, not just like me, sometimes I'll throw an idea out there. It's not well thought out. It's just a brainstorm, high up, high level. It doesn't follow through. And Vonda might go, finish it or, then bring it back or something like that. but we're at that level where, yeah, that's a good idea. Or Ellie is actually the one that will go, you need to think through this, like 10 more steps, then bring it to me,
Yeah.
then we'll talk. If you've done all that and you keep doing those things and they just shut it down, then maybe it's time to look elsewhere.
I was going to say, you're not going to change
Them.
And then also to that point, that business is not going to succeed.
No, they're not. Right.
If you're not ready for change and you have to face things without that fear.
Right.
And listen, like Mike tells me all the time, I don't want to be the smartest person in the room.
Right.
I don't want to be the person that has the all say. And I think that that's why I like family dynamics. When I had previous employers where I didn't feel that, that's when you start losing your sense of purpose. So if you don't have a sense of purpose or trust at a job, it's okay to move on. It is 100% okay to move on. And maybe they need a different person as well. Maybe that company will work with the right person.
Yes. Yeah.
It's okay to say things don't work out and keep looking.
Yeah. It's okay to not have a good fit there.
I told you before, it's bad because I can't lie. But Joelle makes fun of me because I clearly get very nervous when I start to lie or try to like get out of it.
You are a horrible liar.
But I think it's really good when you're honest from the get-go. Like, hey, this is not working out. You don't listen to me. And I would suggest having that in email. Trying your ideas. Like you said, don't go with your coffee. Hey, Ryan, I have a great idea. We should build a playground, you know. Build a playground, Mimi. Can you give me feedback? I am very guilty of this.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times they're like, wait, go back. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? And why are you talking about this? But once I have gotten those ideas and I feel like really, really like this is going to make the business better or this is going to make this product better.
Right.
Have the self-confidence to write it in an email. When you write it in an email or you write it down and practice it to yourself, you're going to come out with a purpose, a why that they're not going to be able to say no. They're going to think, oh, wow, that's a way of thinking of it.
Right. Or by the time you finish it and practice it, you're going to go, this is not going to work. This is so dumb. No way is this going to work.
Why do you need a playground, Mimi?
Yeah, exactly. We don't need another playground. What was I thinking? Was I high? What the hell?
Yeah.
So it's really, really genius. We at Flower Click, we do that. I think it's PPP, you know, the product. What is it? Your idea, the plan, and the payoff.
Exactly.
And, you know, you have to be able to answer those three things. And if you can't, it gets thrown in the trash.
And I think that's also super important that I've seen done well here. I have been in places where it hasn't been done right, where we just do things to do things. Like you just post or you just whatever it may be. Right. No, there has to be a reason. Obviously, there has to be a return.
Right.
Why are we going to invest in?
Why am I going to spend all that time and money and flights
and the return, for instance, doesn't always have to be a financial return, but it has to be a return in something. I don't know about you guys, but do you ever get the question like, what do you guys get out of the podcast? Like,
yes,
it's a purpose. And I know
I ask myself that all the time.
I ask myself when people cancel their guests, and I'm like, oh no. But we get that question a lot, and what we do get is education, and we get trust, and we get that
relationship too. Think of the guests you get to meet.
Exactly. And so I think a lot of people need to readdress their purpose of why they do things.
Or why. What's your why? Vonda asks that all the time. What's your why?
Exactly.
And when you can't answer that, it's time to cut it out of your life.
Yeah.
And not feel guilt. Regarding the podcast, we're coming up on our 300th, which is crazy. 300.
It's even crazier because you guys don't do weekly.
We do once a week.
You do?
Oh, we drop it every Tuesday. Do you do it every week?
We do it every week too. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But one thing I can tell you that we get out of ours that is my favorite thing is when random strangers reach out, either email or at events and tell me, I listened to your podcast and this is what I learned.
Right.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, you're that one person. Like, wow. Or whatever. It's just, but anyway, that has nothing to do with.
I've seen your interaction with both Ellie and Vonda, and is it easy for you to turn things off, like your friendship? Because first of all, you guys look like family, literally like family together.
Yeah. Yeah. People think I'm Ellie's aunt.
Uh-huh.
You know,
That was
no.
my first impression as well.
Yeah. Yeah. No. And I will cry if we talk about it because, she's getting ready to get married. No, it's not easy for me to turn off. They are just like you feel like you are part of the Black family. When Vonda edits this, she will start laughing because they know this. I have no boundaries.
Me either. That's why I'm asking. I've seen
It's a problem. I have zero boundaries with Ellie and Vonda. I have nothing. And my husband's like, you have got to start separating yourself. At some point, you have to retire. I was like, no, I can't leave it.
I feel it too. And that's why I asked, because now that there's stuff going on and like, I know you're going to be able to take up stuff so that Ellie doesn't have to worry and, take people into consideration.
I just love them so much. I keep my heart. And I think about when we were doing this, I was thinking of questions to ask you. And when you and I were talking, you and I think, might be in a weird group of people. The family companies we work for, we are so protective of.
I mean, it sounds like almost like an obsession.
Yeah, maybe in an unhealthy way.
Exactly. So then there's our biggest con would be work-life balance.
Right. 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Or because there's no balancing. But if I know that Ryan had already booked a trip and Mike is needing this, I do. I'll pop in on a Saturday when it's not my time to come in.
Right.
And Ryan's like, don't do that. Don't hurt bad behavior. And I go, it's not bad behavior. We need this. Like,
I'm just checking because I care about the company. Exactly. You're just like,
and it has bitten me in the ass. I have had burnout. I've had like my blood pressure go up or events. And I'm like, oh, no. I don't care if I'm sick. I'm going to go push through. So that's definitely a con, I think, because there's things that, I mean, my kids know more about some of these people than their own family.
Yeah, same.
Because I'll go home and I'll be like, oh, you know that Susan ordered this today.
Right.
It's like, okay.
Yeah.
So, they become idols and they can fall like idols, which is something that has not happened to me, but that's where you get people with that resentment. And I think that that's where we talked a lot about protecting.
Protect your health, protect your mental health, make sure you do have healthy balance.
And it's also okay to protect your family, your work family, in that sense. Like, nobody's going to talk bad about Mike around me.
Right.
It's not
That's my expectation. I mean, it's not going to happen on my watch.
And
it doesn't happen on our watch. And so that's okay. And it's our choice, right? This is how you and I choose to be. But here's what I want to say. Here would be my advice to anyone, even an employee working at a flower shop, if they're listening, and they're going to work just to go to work and get that paycheck or whatever. I feel you're missing out. Like I have never worked in a job to just work in a job. I have always loved every job I've had. It's probably just my personality, though. I always just kind of go all in.
Right.
That's just kind of who I am. Even teaching school, as weird as that is, teaching middle school, I loved it. I hated dealing with parents, but I loved my students.
Right.
But I think just showing up and not wanting to get involved, I think you're missing out on, number one, relationships, but learning leadership, learning communication, just, I don't know.
I think a common misconception about family-owned companies is that there's no way to grow because there's family, right? And I think that that's the
Yes.
opposite. I think you can learn so much. And I think that once you find a sense of belonging in that company, there's no matter if it's a family-owned company or a corporate company, you're going to grow. Whether you're going to
I would agree.
up the ladder or you're going to grow and be able to open up your own company. You have
Right.
to see it. You have to see it as
Yeah.
growth. And I think when we are talking about all the florists, because every time I visit, and this is exactly why I got into this business with Mike, I wanted to learn more about the wholesale side, about the actual florists. I see the people that walk in here every day with their business, and I see what they go through. I see that they're worried about 101 different things. The last thing they need to worry about, or the last thing you want to be, is be in a place where you don't want to be there.
Yes. 100%.
Running these floral businesses, whether you're a studio or you're a full-on shop or you're 4 or 5 shops,
Mhm.
there is a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
So much work to do.
So much.
And having people who feel like they can belong, who feel like they can talk to people about how to improve the business
Yeah.
and give that sense of belonging a purpose,
Yeah.
you're golden. You're gonna grow. You're gonna
Yeah.
grow. You're gonna open up the next shop. There's so
Yeah.
much there. So I would say listen to yourself and be yourself. Like,
Right.
it's okay to be yourself and not belong and go get another job. It's okay.
Right. Right. But I agree with you because at Flower Click, we have had quite a few members that have nurtured amazing employees, trained them up, and equipped them with knowledge. They have gone on, moved out of their delivery area, started their own business, and the old owner is so happy for them because they helped them start their business. I mean, it's a healthy separation. And they are still friends, and they became Flower Click members too. So, like, it's
But
a
I
win-win.
think that's a talent, like, to see that, though. It
Yes.
really is because
Yes.
not to say much about Mike, but Mike has that talent. He sees people.
Yeah.
Olga, who is our lead
Yes.
designer and in our cash and carry, one amazing salesperson, she was on the bouquet line, and Mike said, "No way." You know, I went recently to Coons in Jacksonville, and
Yes.
I was speaking to this beautiful young girl. She just saw me standing at the counter because I wanted to buy these beautiful fairies.
Yeah.
Because there's no way you're walking into that shop and
No.
wanting to buy, like,
Right.
I was like, so I was speaking to her, and immediately Marty was like, yeah, she came in. We didn't have a position. She started with the bucket prepping, and I immediately put her in sales. I can guarantee that that young lady is going to be running another location in a couple of years.
Wow.
I think
Yeah.
that people who have to work, like, everyone's like, oh, doesn't it suck working during the holidays and you work so much? Yeah, to me, it's a little bit of a
It
maybe
does.
it's like I'm being held captive, but at the same time, it gives me a purpose. Aside from my family, which I throw myself and dedicate to my 2 boys and my family, but aside from that, it feels really good to have something outside where I can rock star
Right.
and just go for it. Like, help make this legacy continue because Mike's 3, the boys are 4, 4th generation, and if I could give just a little bit to make
Yeah.
sure that these little girls and boys that are coming in and playing in around and,
Yeah.
going, "Flower, flower," that it's theirs next,
Yeah.
I will give that.
Yeah.
'Cause it's a beautiful thing to see.
Yeah. Okay, I have a question for you, and it's not one I sent you because my husband asked me this weekend. Do you have any, besides your family, besides your job, Do you have any hobbies?
I do crossword puzzle.
That's
Word search.
yeah.
I color. I
Okay.
also I can watch a mean Netflix, let me tell
Okay,
you.
I'm with you. Okay, no, I don't feel as bad. He called me out. He was like,
No, and I did.
"Yeah,
I used to paint and I did
yeah,
garden a lot, but
yeah,
the weather's just
yeah,
it's
yeah,
getting hotter
yeah,
and hotter. I'm getting older and older, so
yeah,
now I'm doing things like word searches at night.
yeah, yeah." No, he was like, "You need hobbies. All you do is work or you're still my kids." Well, here was my answer right now. My hobby, any extracurricular is my dad.
Yeah.
I mean, I go visit my dad and he was like, "That's not a hobby."
It's
And
not a hobby, but I think it fills your cup in a
it
different way because
right. I'm like, it's my duty. It is what I wanna do on my free time. But anyway, he was getting on to me because
I I agree with him, but I can't fight you because on this
no, because I was like, "I just need to not feel alone." Because he's like,
but
"Your work is your hobby, and that is not
but I
okay."
also had been the opposite, where I was part of 4 book clubs and,
Same,
doing so much to try to fill that
same.
cup,
And
and
I was like,
now I don't need it as much.
right. And that is such a good point because I used to have all of that, and I'm actually this fulfills me more, and, I don't know if that's healthy or not. I don't know, probably not, but
We're probably 2 codependents talking to each
probably.
but I will say, Lori, the good thing about what we do, and I know that you get this
Mhm.
because you have relationships with the clickers, is you learn so much. We're people.
That's it yeah, and we're learners. We love to learn something new. I'm learning new things every day.
I get challenged by my clients and
Right.
my colleagues. Like, it's funny enough, you said about spending time with your dad is your hobby. My coworker, he saw me down and I said, the time when you realize your parents are getting older and
Mhm.
I'm also dealing with teenagers. So it's like I'm starting to face this not trauma, because I do have a little bit of trauma about my parents.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Then don't make it. Go right after work every single day. You're blessed to have them around the corner. Don't let a day go by."
Yep.
And it's funny because now, even if it's 5 minutes and it's,
Good.
like, whether it's a phone call or really
Yep.
giving them just unconditional, real attention,
Yes.
it is my hobby now. And
That's what I'm telling you, it's a game changer, and that's what yesterday, I looked at my calendar, I was like, "I have 30 minutes. I'm gonna go check on my dad," because he's 10 minutes away, and, of course, he was napping, but I went, and I refilled his medication. I just did a couple little things. I went and I wiggled his feet and said, "Daddy, you alive?" And he goes, What? Oh, hi." Anyway, talked to him 10 minutes, and I was back home. Nobody missed me. It was all
Mhm.
good.
Isn't that crazy that
Yeah. I was like, "Oh, the world."
we do live in this, like, idea of, "Oh my gosh,
The
time
flower
heals."
survived. Oh my goodness.
Everything works out.
Not one flower shop had to close down.
No.
Gone. Can you believe it? They all survived, and I checked his mail, I got everything done. I was very excited, but anyway, I always say there's 2 types of people. There's the ladder climbers and the ladder holders
Mhm.
in the world. Cami, who works here at Flower Click too, we are ladder holders. I've never wanted to own my own business,
Me
but
too.
boy, I love to be a ladder holder. I love to help other people climb to that top and let me work for you. Let me help you. And I think people can think of that and go, which one am I?
And it's okay to be that different people
We need both.
phases.
You have to have both. I need Vonda to be a ladder climber and Ellie. Like, I need that
Yeah.
because I need to hold that ladder so they can climb up and do the hard stuff.
And who knows, Lori, maybe there will be a time where you have to climb that ladder for them because it's
Sure.
your duty, right?
Absolutely.
And it's okay because I think that that's
Yes. We take turns.
you take turns and your
Beautiful.
phases and cycles are
Yeah.
just like the moon.
Yes.
But
that's
yeah,
beautiful.
it's important to do things. And I think my one piece of advice to those who are working for family businesses, they do notice. Do things with your
Mhm.
do things with your heart and with intention, and they will notice. And I'm not saying that you're going to get a bonus every time
Right. Right.
or that a girl, but
Right.
I think that if you really want to grow, take the opportunity to listen
Mm.
and to do things with intention. And I don't want to sound cheesy, but don't be afraid to say it's not working out. That's one thing. Because somebody out there really, really wants to grow with you.
Yeah.
Like, and
Love
that's
that.
the truth. Yeah.
That's so true. Don't be ashamed if it's not a fit.
No, nope. And that doesn't mean you don't have to leave the flower world in
No.
general. Like that, a lot of people, I think, make that mistake of it didn't work out, so I need to start brand new.
Mm-mm.
No, take your
No.
skills
That's such good advice.
and figure out, like, if you do have something, you have this knowledge, like all these florists with the knowledge of the names of the flowers and the varieties and
gosh.
all of that, don't
Crazy.
let that go to waste.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
keep
Yeah.
keep honing it in.
Shine.
People like it. I know it's not easy for everybody, but you know what? I have been hearing a lot of people who leave that then they're like, I actually miss it, you know?
Oh, yes. I think if it's in your blood, you'll come back.
Oh, yeah.
There's a spot. There's always a spot for you. So anyway, thanks for coming.
Thank
Did
you.
you have
Holly.
fun?
Yes, of course. Anytime I'm with you, I just wish we
Yes.
could have 2 Dr. Peppers. That's what we
Well,
had.
I had a Diet Dr. Pepper yesterday.
That's our hobby.
You know what? My golly, it is our hobby. Dr. Pepper drinking and crossword puzzling. Look what I have right here.
That's exactly what I do. The Lord.
See, we are the same person, Mimi.
I think
We are kindred sisters.
cosmically connected.
We are 100%. Okay.
Have a great one. Thank you for inviting me, Lori.
Thank you so much for listening to our podcast. We hope you enjoyed spending time with us because we enjoy spending time with you. If you did, make sure you hit that subscribe button or add the Business and Pleasure of Flowers to your Google morning routine or your flash briefing on Alexa. We look forward to seeing you next week.
So please come back and join us and discover how a bit of knowledge and one small change in your mindset can take you to new levels in your life and business.